What is going on YouTube? Beard's getting a little cray. So today we're going to be doing some welding. We're going to replace that with that. So this is out of my boat, my Axis wake boat. It's a muffler. So my main pipes come in going here, and as you can see, there's a massive, it's a huge restriction. It has to go down and around, in through here and back out. So big restriction. It's basically a carbon fiber muffler. And from what I've heard, they tend to crack, leak, and blow apart after years and years. And it can restrict exhaust. I mean, it's definitely a restriction. So what we're gonna do is I got some 3.5-inch stainless. We're basically just going to join the one pipe to my main pipe out of the boat. And since I have the fresh air exhaust, which goes down under the water into my prop, it's really not gonna add noise. It's probably gonna sound throatier out of the water, but in the water, you're probably not gonna hear it that much because it's under the water and you can't really hear it. So, but kind of hoping that it just reduces this from cracking, breaking, and leaking water into my boat. And then also it might help with a little bit of bottom end, maybe less restriction. Maybe I'll feel a little torquey out of the boat, but we'll see. But really, it's just another little small project I can do myself to gain some experience, get my feet wet in the stainless, and kind of learn how to shape, bend, use pie cuts and stuff to get where I need the exhaust to be. So it's basically just two big regular couplers that I just got to join together. So we're gonna get started. All right, so I went ahead and cut 2.5 inches. And we're gonna go over to my boat now. We're basically gonna use this angle finder to kind of see the angle of what we need. So I just cut the 2.5. Because the 2.5 is what goes into the coupler. So basically stick this into the coupler and then I'll be able to tell. So basically guys, what I'm doing is I'm just making a pipe join from here, and then I'm going to angle it and pie it over and then make it come over to here. So it shouldn't be too hard, but we have to go over there and figure out what angle I need, and then we're going to angle it back to here. All right, well, we got something cooking up now. This is what I came up with. Right now it's just taped up, but we got some pies in there, getting those angles, a little bit of straight in the middle there. But it's quite the little wormy pipe, as you guys can see. So we're gonna go ahead and tack it all, get it tacked. I'll do one more fitment check and then weld her up. All right, here we go. We are in, check it out. Fits perfect. Look at that. And look at all the extra room I'll have. So that big carbon muffler would sit right in the middle. Super hard to get to my freshwater pump. Now it's gonna be straight pipe all the way down, no muffler. A lot more room here in the back. All right, here we go. Pretty cool little project to do here. As you can see, it bends there and it bends there. It looks like a lot of pies, but it's really just 2 pies and then a 2.5 in the middle. Or no, it's a 1.5 straight in the middle and then 2.5 and 2.5. So it's really just 2 10-degree pies. So this one was the first pie I cut. You can see it's thicker right here. And then the other one's a lot thinner. And then these two are the same size as this one. So on my second pipe, because I have duals, I'm gonna make this the same as the rest. So this was just a fatter pie. So it gives you a little bit longer radius, but I want shorter pies. So I'm gonna cut them all this angle, and it should still match up pretty dang close. And I can always rotate the pies the way I need them. So that's the cool thing about the pies, is you can clock and rotate any direction you want to get the angle and the length that you want. So it wasn't too hard, especially because it's just rubber boots on the ends. So it leaves a little bit of room for, you know, I guess screw up, but not bad for my first. This is really my first fabrication exhaust that I've made. So came out pretty decent. Check it out. We got them finished up, both sides. So doing the other side was kind of a lot easier because I already figured it out. So I just had to reverse it. So all I did was, see I have these center marks on these pie cuts, which helped me out because I could actually measure how much of a rotation that I had on the pie cut. So that was pretty cool. And then once I got to about here, I did go out and make sure my angle was right. But there you go. So we're all tacked up and just ready for weld at this point. We're gonna try to knock out as much of this as we can today. So we got our purge plugs in. We're gonna go ahead and back purge this with argon. Getting pretty low on gas. I don't know how far we're gonna get today. Well, we didn't get to finish. That's what we have left right there. Started running out of gas. You could tell the coverage kind of was sucking. That's why it was getting gray there. But at the beginning there, nice gold welds. You can kind of see where my cup coverage stopped. I got that little blue rainbow when I was stopping. Probably what I could do, turn the gas a little bit higher on the round edges because you'll get a little more coverage. I think I only had it at like 30 or 35, so we could probably push 40 to 45 and probably wouldn't get those blue rainbows, but looks good. I mean, pretty good welds in there. I was getting better as I was going. I was trying different techniques. I was going from pulse to non-pulse to different thickness filler wires. I melted some plastic there. So I was just trying different things, see what works best. But overall, it came out good and it's definitely not going anywhere. So I'm out of gas. So right now I'm just running a 125 cylinder, which doesn't really get you a whole lot of welding, especially on stainless where you need to purge it and you got a lot of gas flow around your cup. Aluminum wise, you can run a 125 for quite a long time because you're only running, like 10 CFM, really tiny cups. So aluminum, not that bad. Stainless sucks a lot of gas. Like I started like 300 pounds this morning and almost got that pipe done. I mean, it's a lot of weld. It's 3.5-inch pipe and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 joints plus back purge. So, I mean, good bit of welding there because of the pie cuts and stuff. But I want to step to a 250 cylinder. A 250 is double this, so I'll get double the weld time without having to fill constantly. The fill place is right down the road, so it's not that far. But it's just a matter of having to put it in the truck, drive over, swap the tank out. So I'm probably going to go ahead and get a 250. That way I can get a little bit more time out of it. And then, yeah, that's probably what I end up doing. Oh yeah, then I wanted to show you the inside so you guys can see we back purged. So it's all welded on the inside. So back purging gets you that nice clean weld on the inside versus not back purging. You're not going to get any of that weld. So nice and welded up on the inside as well. So yeah, this is a nice little project, personal project. These are going to be my new boat straight pipe exhausts. So we'll see how they turn out. Again, I'm going to need some more gas. And then I'll finish that pipe and knock out the other pipe. And then I'll put it on the boat. So pretty happy with how they're coming out. A really cool little, like practice fab job, real fab job on a real thing, but it's mine. And I'm able to, mess with wire feeding and kind of get my groove with the stainless and see where I like my settings, see what type of filler wire I like. This is a 65 thousandths wall. Stainless 304, so I'm just kind of getting the feel for what I like. So I'm going to be having a turbo Camaro no prep car coming in a week or two, and materials already coming, and it's going to be all stainless hot side, and then we're doing aluminum exhaust. So I'm going to be doing the cross member, the wastegate, all the V-bands and the aluminum exhaust out the fender or hood, I think. I'm not sure what he wants to do yet, but so it's gonna be my first like real turbo kit. So I want to kind of do something before that, just kind of, you know, get my groove going with stainless and see what I like before I start working on a customer car. So I'm pretty confident. I mean, I think, I don't think it'll be a huge headache. Maybe getting fitments and like where stuff needs to be. I think you even have an eyeball for it or you don't. So the boat was able to kind of give me a little sneak peek of what it's like to kind of picture pie cuts and see where pipes are gonna go. So it's a lot of thought process, a lot of visualizing, and then getting your angles with your angle finder and kind of see like what you need. It can be, you know, frustrating, I'm sure, but hopefully it goes pretty smooth. I'm going to kind of stick to certain degrees and certain angles. Like if I do a 90 over here, I want to do a 90 over here. If I do a 45 degree over here, I want to do a 45 degree over here. Try to keep everything kind of the same. So that way all I got to do is kind of rotate the pipe around and it should meet up. When you start cutting all types of different angles, like 25 degrees and 23 degrees and 47 degrees and all these weird angles, you end up with a very weird meetup, and it can kind of throw you off. So I learned that from watching a couple other fab guys, that you kind of want to stick to the same degrees. Just makes it easier at the end. So, but yeah, so I'll continue this video once I get some more gas. And once these are completely finishly welded up, I'll show you guys the end product. Our last pipe came out really nice, all purged down inside of there. So yeah, here's our other pipe, came out real nice. So I'm excited to put these on the boat. Take some time, guys. I mean, that was a full time lapse of this one pipe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 joints, 3.5 inch pipe. Take some time, takes some gas, takes a steady hand. That's pretty good welds on there. Pretty good welds going on. So, still getting used to the stainless. And obviously with more practice, you get steadier, you get better. But I'm pretty happy with where I'm at with my stainless right now. I'm sure I'll get smoother and smoother as time goes on. Right now I'm using Pulse. I like the Pulse. It keeps the heat down on the stainless. What Pulse does is, I'm sure you guys can see it's doing this on the time lapse, but it's actually pretty slow. It pulse on, pulse off, pulse on, pulse off. What it's doing, it's putting all the amps in, it melts the material, you dab, and then it comes back off and you can move. And what that does is it kind of reduces how much heat is on the material, and it just, you don't really want to overheat the stainless. It gets unhappy. It's harder to keep the nice rainbow colors and the gold color. It can start dulling if your gas is not up to snuff. So you don't want to overheat stainless, and you can burn through the material pretty quick, especially those really thin areas, like those thin areas where the pies come together. If you hit that really hard with heat, you can blow through it and you'll ruin the entire pipe. So you gotta be real careful around the thinner areas. But I like the Pulse, keeps the heat out, and it also allows you to kind of get in that rhythm of dabbing. And it just kind of keeps your dabs kind of uniformed. With aluminum, I don't pulse. I just find it, I tried pulsing with aluminum, didn't really like it. With aluminum, I just like to run it and just boom, 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 and seems to work. I did do that. I tried no pulse and it looks decent. But I definitely can tell I got a lot more heat when I'm doing it, and it really melts it down into, so it's good penetration. I think I might be overheating it a hair if I do that. So again, I'm gonna play with this, and when I do more stainless on, customer cars, I might play a little bit back and forth with pulse and no pulse. But I like how these came out. I'm pretty happy with them. So that's pretty much gonna do it, guys. Though, again, appreciate it. Kind of like, subscribe, like if you're watching. We got a customer car here still. That video is still being made. I'm waiting on the ECU to show up and the harness from Jason. As soon as we get the max ECU in, we're gonna tune this customer car and get her out. She'll probably be back in a year for a full turbo kit. So we'll keep an eye and see if she comes back for that. And then I got a couple other projects coming in, a couple weld projects. So you guys stick around. Make sure you subscribe, like, and comment. All right, catch you guys next video. See you.